Hello, I'm Karen, and just a quick recap for those that have been following my journey. I discovered a code that led me to read the Voynich manuscript. I played some of the games inside the Voynich manuscript, wrote to the king, and then ended up playing a game with him, and now I've ended up here. Okay, so these are the sheep. So we've actually got, so this is nettle, this is honeysuckle, this is walnut, this is peanut, and this is barley. Okay, so I'm just going to move those out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring over the actual, whoops daisy, just bringing over the actual scripts that I've got. So this is just to show you that how the game's actually been working, and this is just some of my evidence. Don't worry, I am not going to read you all of this. Okay, so the way that this actual game works is all is the actual keyword. So what I need to do is find the word all in the actual text. This, by the way, is off the Royal website. And we can see here, we've got this top section here is a repeat of this bit here. So in this whole thing here, we can only actually use 7, even though there is 8 of them. And 8 is a clue all the way down the line. Okay, so my first clue ended up leading me to Barbar, which is how we've ended up with the sheep. This then led me to actually make this one. Let's just, sorry, this is not very good. So this is like a TARDIS shaped type of basket there, which then led me to find this basket here. So this one I call the tree stump, just so that we've got different names for them. And then I also made a tree. There we go. So this is the tree version of it. That one's not got anything in that one. Okay, and so the next step of the game was actually, so I had to find what was to go into the baskets, which is the granny squares. And so all of the baskets are full of actual granny squares. Okay, there. I'm sorry, I've ended up with a loose tail end on that one there. Probably get a minus point for that, but hey-ho. Okay, so those baskets made me realise that the basket inside the Voynich manuscript, which I'd already been working on, which I didn't know what it was for. This basket, I've actually shared this pattern here. That's the lid, and inside here this contains, so this is back to going to the Voynich manuscript, and this basket contains 26 of the actual squares. So that's how the game was working, is that I've just got to find out how many things I can get inside the basket. So let's just move on to the next page. I've already done the tree stump. I've already said about the granny squares. So with the granny squares, the main things going off with the granny squares were the king actually answered my question when I actually set him his challenge, and the date I was looking for was the 29th of March 2024, because it was 2 days after the anniversary of me releasing the Crochet Crew. And the key dates from the actual baskets themselves of the squares is that we end up with 77 squares, which is 1977 for the Jubilee year for Queen Elizabeth II. The next year was going along is 1969, which is the year that King Charles was actually crowned Prince of Wales. We had lots of clues to do with Wales in there before. And we need to have 64 squares to make an 8x8 blanket. So the next stage, what I did is, so what I've done is, so part of these clues, you see, they lead me to other clues. So I've actually got some alls inside. This is the Christmas 2022. This is also from the Royal website, so you can see all of the alls there. And there was actually 7 of those there. So I did combinations of those, and those actually created these. So we've got an owl. This is mint. This is raspberry, and whoops, this one is blackcurrant. There. If we follow the extra clues, we end up finding this beautiful little bonnet that fits the owls and the sheep. And so the clue there was the granny bonnet. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. And okay, so that this is the pattern for the owl's body. The bunting I've already used previously in a different video. I've published that, so I'm not sure that that was actually allowed. And then what I did, so the granny pattern, the granny bonnet is actually made from the names, so the initials of all of the names. So that's there, so we can see the pattern there. Which this is the point where it led me to go back to the manuscript, because if I go back to my original notes, you can see I did actually do the page 65 inside the Voynich manuscript. I actually released that video, but then I pulled it back because I was only learning at that point and I got some errors. So that one there, and also just to show you can see, so this is the actual original calculations for doing the panel that I've already shared. So I'm just going to go back to there. So at this point I need to bring over the manuscript, because what I did is, so the triangles, oh yes, I just got to say, so on the bottoms of the baskets that I've already shared, there's triangle patterns. So sorry, because the way that I was doing this, I kept going backwards and forwards. So there, this is the curved triangles pattern. I went back to the manuscript. I translated every single line on page 65, just so you can see all of that there. And that's the continuation. So I use the anagram method that I've been playing before. It's just basic anagram, and that gives me a list of words here. And I realised that when I actually found, with that list of words there, I realised that there's actually a total of 14 letters of the English alphabet that was used, which are these letters here. Okay, so then what I need to do is show you the pattern that was actually made. I need to bring you the manuscript over as well, just to be able to show you. So this is the actual pattern that's actually made. That's the right way around of it, and that's the other way around. And what you do is you lay the actual, I'm just going to just lay it in the right position, just so that you can see. So what happens is that when you lay it over the manuscript, through the actual hole here, you see this twist. The twist in the manuscript represents the letter A. And if I carried on and made that go around, it would fit over. So that tail end would fit over there. And when that's lined up correctly, you can see through those windows. So that's letter A. And then you can see E, I, O and U. So we've got the vowels, which is what the manuscript is all about. And because I knew I was back in the manuscript, that's where I then played the games that we do. So it's the things like where you fold them in half so you can like work out different things. And that's where I realised that this pattern itself is actually a chicken pattern. So I began making the chickens, which I will share you in a minute. But I'm just going to go over to this page because the clues I'd got as I needed to make 9 chickens. So I went over to page 9 in the actual manuscript, and so that's just so you can see that there, just so that we've done that bit there, there. And that then led me to be able to make this basket here. Sorry, I'm not opening the basket just yet, so we can just see this is just the basket, because it does contain all of the chickens. And when I'd actually got, I'd got to the 5th chicken, after realising I needed to make 9, and I realised the chickens themselves are an actual pattern, okay? But what I did is I went back, I carried on, I thought I've got to do work out the organisation of the actual way that the words go. This meant that I got to make 17 items, which consisted of 5 sheep, 3 owls and 9 chickens. I've just showed you that pattern there. So this is the actual instructions from that page 9. And where did I go to next? Yep, so this is where I realised it's another pattern. And this is where I translated the rest of, so I did all of page 9. So we've got page 9 gets translated there and here. Okay, and this is where I've actually just done the basic anagrams of those words there. So I decided that that was the time just to leave doing work on the Voynich manuscript, and I'm going to open the basket. So this is the lid, which I realised I'd got to make, because this piece here that I'm going to show you, I'm just going to just stand it all up, because this is the piece that you make from the pattern of the chickens, like this. So it stands up like this in the basket. And I've just got some bits just to show you, just as a sample. So the way that it works is you crochet your pieces up. You do a maximum of 4, okay, pieces. You put your hook through this section here, and you do them individually at a time until you've got them all done. Once you've actually got your set of 4 done, because you'd put them over that way while you're working, then once you've got all 4 done, you would then loop this into there and just pull this partially through, and all your tail ends sit inside your basket while you're working, and you just keep going around and round, and it's an organiser to be able to organise your work while you're working. I'm going to move that out of the way. So now I'm going to show you the chickens. So this is the basket full of chickens. And here we go, look, so you can see, I'll just get one of them out. Actually, I want two of them out to show you something. So this is the actual chicken. That's what it looks like there. Oops, its wings upside down. There, and so they've got this so that they actually hang up, and they do make shadows against the wall. You know, if you hang them up. And if we put two of them this way around like this, I don't know if you can see that shape, but the actual shadows make you different shadows, which that one would form like a heart shape as you're doing it. So that's the 9 chickens. I'm going to move those out of the way. And where did this one go? So that's the organizer. So this is the pattern. It's clues with that because the centerpiece in there was a 4-post star that also turns into bonnets, which then I carried on. I did the actual just anagram game, made sure that we'd got all the words. This is from page 9 of the manuscript. And at this point, this is where I stopped, and I was like, okay. And I'd got a mountain of tail ends. So I knew that I'd got to hide all of the tail ends. So this is the result of hiding all of the tail ends for this particular one. So we get this beautiful basket. Right, so the actual original section of it is, so I'm just going to just take this out here. And so all of my stars for all of the tail ends are in there. I also felt that I needed to make some extra ones just to make it so there was 10 because there was clues to do with the letter J of the alphabet. And as you can see, sticking out here, this is where we would find the treasure, which is the number 8 hook there, which is all part of the clues. I'm just going to put that back so we don't lose that. Put that back there. Okay. And so I realised obviously I've got to make a basket to actually fill all of those, to put all of those things in it. So the basket itself actually is a date, which is the 20th of May, 1580, which I do believe is the actual date that the manuscript was actually completed. And at this point, I really did think I'd made it to the end. And then I realised the actual basket itself, so this basket that I'd made to fit the stars in, actually also was another crochet pattern, which led me to be able to then make a granny bonnet flower. Now, after I'd done the flower and I'd done all of that, I realised I'd needed to make another basket. And so the word granny bonnet itself is actually also another pattern. So I'm just showing you just the pattern so you can see the patterns before I show you inside the actual basket itself. So there. And also you need, there's part of it is to make there's clues to make the actual pouches to hide your tail ends inside. And this is the actual basket pattern itself. So this is the actual basket there. Okay, so these are little parts that we've used previously. I found this was a clue, this little top piece, which is a clue from the squares. So I'm going to open the basket just to show you the contents of the basket. So inside the basket we have all of the shapes, and so all of the patterns that I found here. We have the shape, so we had all the pieces to be able to make the letter J, which is the 10th letter of the alphabet, which is what I believe that Queen Elizabeth first added into the alphabet. Now these are the granny bonnet flowers. Now I want to get you the 2 pink ones I made to show you. So if we look inside the top, you can see it makes a little star when we do it properly. And when this one, I didn't do it properly, and so the middle just looks really rubbish. But I'm going to show you the flower opening up. So this is how a real granny bonnet flower would look when it's closed, and when it opens up, you get all of these bits that come out on the outside, like this, there, and there. Okay, so we end up with a 5-petaled flower in the middle with 5 petals around the outside. Obviously I haven't done the stem, it was just the clues for that. The patterns also make dittos. Yep, so you can use those for, obviously we need those, but they also fit together as well nicely like that, which I really like. And the pouches themselves, these are the pouches. I thought they was really weird to start off with. I was like, okay, what am I doing? But I realised that these are to make the letter Z there. But they're also, if you have them this way round like this, whoops, there you go. Those, doing it that way is the actual symbols that you need to make the triple treble crochet stitch. So I'm just going to just quickly put those back in the basket so we don't get them muddled up. So the basket itself, yeah, is also another crochet pattern which made this. Hang on, let me just take this bit out. Made this cute little basket here. There is also the instructions to be able to make this little butterfly there. And then I played the game and we had to do a twist. So the actual pattern for the wing, you twist it, it just changes stitch really. This makes the body of the actual caterpillar, and then the body of the caterpillar is the pattern that creates this teeny tiny section on the end there, there. And so that was where I did all of my little bits and bobs. These are the patterns just to show you that they're, just have a quick there so you can see them. They're all my, these are all my just calculations, just so I can show my evidence. And when we get to this very last section here, we can see that if we play the complex anagram game, we can see that caterpillar equals alphabetical, and it's just missing the letter A from it there. If we do butterfly, it equals alphabetica. So if you put them both together, you get alphabetic and alphabetical, which is all part of the Voynich manuscript because it's all to do with the alphabet. And then that then leads me to, I did actually make a 9th basket. So this basket here is the same one as the tree stump from the beginning. This has got contains the dates, the birth dates for King Charles and Queen Camilla. So I've added on 7 of the little hearts there, which corresponds with her birthday month. And if we turn it inside out, because it's a reversible basket, there, and all of the tail ends are all hidden inside this basket as well. There is actually 48 of the little hearts on the top there. Oh, that's a really weird picture. Pull that down a bit so you can try and see to make that. So that also corresponds. And the reason why I chose to use the hearts is because the heart is the very first word that I learned to read from the manuscript, which is here, and that is just how it's laid out as an actual crochet pattern, and that'll be how it'll be doing in the other symbols that I've been using. So I end up with, this is the list of all of the patterns that have been used inside these. I've named them all different things to make it easier. I end up with a total of 29 patterns. 3 of them I do believe I'm not allowed to actually put through because I've already published them previously. So which those patterns are the 8-stitch bunting, the Voynich panel, and the Voynich 3-post granny square, which has got the chain 2 corners, which is what makes the basket. So in conclusion, I believe that Queen Elizabeth I is the author of the original work because the Voynich manuscript is actually a copy. I believe that Queen Elizabeth I created the final set of the alphabet we're still using to this day. She added the letter J into the 10th position, and she changed the U and the V around. Queen Elizabeth I also invented the bell gauge. Where's my hook gone? Just need to get that hook back. And so on the bell gauge itself, number 14 is the hole where we actually, which was for the 4mm crochet hook, and the number 8, which I've got here, look, we can see that, whoop, it's upside down, there, fits into hole number 14. And if I just get my normal 4mm crochet hook, just to demonstrate, this is a 4mm, oh, can you see that? 4mm crochet hook also fits into the same space there. And so that's it. So Queen Elizabeth used the crochet hooks known as the 14 on the bell gauge, an 8 hook, and also the 4mm crochet hook in modern terms. And the date the book was completed was the 20th of May 1580. Okay, so, and that's where I just would love to say thank you very much to our king and to our queen for playing this game with me. I really, really appreciate it. So happy first coronation anniversary for Monday. And thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Bye for now.